Hey there, how's it going? I'm Dustin. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. This is the Week 7 Waiver Wire Show. Before we get into it, quick shout out to John out in Chicago. We forgot to announce him as the weekly Pick'em winner in our tips and advice show from last week. So John, congratulations. Your shirt's in the mail. For a chance to win your own shirt, go ahead and sign up on our site. Get in there. It's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun with it this year. All right, let's get into our must-adds in all leagues, and we start with Ryan Terrain. Still only owned in 75% of leagues. I was shocked to see that, especially with all the hype that he had coming into this week. 2 touchdowns, looked great. Clinton Portis does not have a starting job anymore, even when he's healthy. Terrain's going to be the man. Pick him up if he's available. Next, Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch. Both these guys had a huge boost when Lynch got shipped out to Seattle, but they're still only owned in about 50 to 60% of leagues. That needs to change. If they're available, you need to get them on your team. Last guy that we're going to talk about for a must-add is Pierre Garçon, only owned in about 75% of leagues. A lot of people gave up on him after a slow start, but I think it was premature. He had a good game last week, and I think he has a good chance of having a good second half of the season. Go ahead and pick him up if he's available in your league. All right, let's take a look at some wide receivers to add in deeper leagues. There's a lot this week. We'll start with Jason Avant with the Deshaun Jackson injury. Jackson's probably going to miss week 7, maybe even more. Avant's going to have an increased role and could be a decent short-term solution. Moving on, some more short-term solutions. Patrick Creighton out in San Diego. Malcolm Floyd and Gates got hurt week 6. Not really sure if they're going to miss any time, but if they do, Creighton could see a boost in value. Same with Nene and Buster Davis. You need to keep an eye on all the injuries out there to see who's going to be starting out there for the San Diego receivers, because you know Phillip Rivers is going to be throwing the ball. Moving on, Anthony Armstrong, only owned in about 10% of leagues. It's been a nice surprise for the Redskins. He's looked pretty good. He's emerged as their number 2 receiver. We think he's a decent add and could have some value for the rest of the season. Last receiver we're going to talk about, Steve Johnson. We absolutely love this guy. He's had 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He's coming off the bye week. We say go ahead and pick this guy up and see what he can do. Only on about 35% of leagues right now. All right, we got one tight end for you, and that's Owen Daniels. It's starting to look like he could be back. He's only on about 50% of leagues right now, so all you Jermichael Finley owners, or if your tight end's on a bye, Owen Daniels could definitely be a guy that you might want to think about picking up in the coming weeks. Next, we got a quarterback for you in Kevin Kolb, only on about 30% of leagues. There is no guarantee that Michael Vick gets that job back. Kolb has looked great. You might want to pick him up and just see what happens. If you have Vick, you might want to pick up Kolb and just see what decision they make out there in Philly this week. All right, let's talk about some running backs. We start with Danny Woodhead out there in New England. I know it's a mess. I will always say don't own a New England running back. But in a PPR league, I think Woodhead has value. He gets a lot of catches out of the backfield. He could be a nice pickup for you in a PPR league. Next, we got Donald Brown, only owned in about 30% of leagues. Adai got banged up on Sunday. We don't necessarily know the extent of the injury just yet, but he looked to be in a lot of pain. And Donald Brown's been hurt as well, but the Colts have a bye week 7. Brown should be healthy coming back week 8. Who knows? We'll see what happens with Adai, but Brown could be a nice pickup for week 8. Another running back for you is Christopher Ivey. He looked really great for the Saints on Sunday. Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush are supposed to be back soon, but they might not be ready for week 7. So Ivey could get another start and could have another decent game. And I want to talk about one guy to keep an eye on, and that's Devin Aromashodu. I like this guy coming into the season. Obviously got into the doghouse after a poor performance week 1, but he's starting to get a few more catches, and I still do think he is the most athletic receiver, or the best receiver on the Bears offense as far as fantasy potential. So keep an eye on Aromashodu. If he keeps getting a few more catches, it might be time to pick him back up. So this is just a portion of the Week 7 waiver wire. To see the full list, get onto the site. It'll be up later this week. As always, get in the forums. Brent and I will be here later this week.